Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to my video. You've seen the title of this video, so you know what's up. If you're looking to get into anime, or if you have a friend who wants to get into anime and they have a specific film genre they like, then just come to this list and just find the genre and then you've got an anime. Of course, this is based on what I've seen, so there's probably tons of anime I'm missing for these specific genres, but let's get into it. I think what's really cool about sci-fi movies, if you look at Blade Runner and you look at Ex Machina, I think they show how massive improvements in technology really begin to make us question our own humanity and what it means to be human. And of course, sci-fi genre generally has a really cool aesthetic, whether it's cyberpunk or out of space or anything like that. They usually have a really cool aesthetic. And I think an anime that checks both these boxes is Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Horror anime doesn't generally do horror really well. You're not going to find an anime that's really going to scare the shit out of you. But I'm going to pick Berserk just because, number one, it's one of the greatest stories ever told in any medium, let alone anime. But also, I think it's the closest thing you'll get to having a real sense of being uncomfortable when watching it or reading it. And I would really recommend the manga instead of the anime. Although I think the anime still got the same story, so it's still good. I think the manga handles it a lot better. July and April, great relationship, very heartwarming at times and also very heartbreaking, so just be warned. Action, when I think about action, I'm thinking about spectacle. If you look at the best action movies, I think Mad Max Fury Road, I think John Wick, I think The Raid. Those are all movies that are very light on plot, but they push the spectacle to the limit. And when it comes to spectacle in anime, you're not going to get much better than Demon Slayer, so go check that out. Death Note, you're not going to find a better battle of wits between two characters, and you're also not going to find a better exploration of morality and the concepts of right or wrong. I think Hunter x Hunter really encapsulates that sort of childlike sense of adventure, sense of exploration that we feel. But at the same time, it weaves it in with a lot of deep and tragic themes even that allow you to really grip into the story. Fantastic world building, fantastic characters. Yeah, one of the best anime of all time, to be honest. And just be warned, it doesn't have a finished ending, so that can be a bit frustrating. But the journey to the ending is insane. Fantasy. I mean, if you're looking for the fantasy aesthetic, I would probably go with Fate Zero. To be honest, Fate Zero sort of adapts the fantasy aesthetic into the modern world. Which is really cool. It's also just a dope anime with cool characters and dope animation. But I think what fantasy fans really like about fantasy, if you look at people who read or watch Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones or The Witcher, is that they have really dense worlds that you can dig into. And so that's why I'm going to say One Piece. Even though One Piece is probably not a great introductory anime because there's so many episodes, I think if you're looking for a similar thing that has incredible world building, something that you can really dig into, there's literally no better story in any medium that has better world building than One Piece. So if you really like the large worlds, you have to check out One Piece. I'm gonna say One Punch Man. I'm a little bit hesitant to say so because you will love One Punch Man, but I think you would appreciate it even more if you were already accustomed to anime. So I would say you could watch it now if you want, and you would probably love it, but just know that it deals with the overpowered main character, which is a widely used concept in anime, and so it parodies that. And so the parody won't hit as hard or be as funny if you're not already accustomed to it. So if you want to leave that for later, I would say My Hero Academia, because I mean the newer seasons are not my favorite. There's about 6 seasons out now. But the first 2 to 3 seasons are still some of the best you'll ever see, and they have really great concepts and new ideas about superheroes that you won't find in any Marvel or DC movie. It has to be Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan really showcases both the effects and most importantly the causes of war and the cycle of violence that we can see every day in society today. And it's also just one of the greatest stories of all time. It finished not so long ago, so you've got an anime there which you can really dig into and finish. Great story, check it out. I'm gonna pick Steins Gate, great story, but it also leaves you very tense moments, and you're gonna be sitting at the edge of your seat all the way through. So Steins Gate for thriller. When I think of sport, I think of hype moments, and I think of teams that you feel like you're a part of, and Haikyuu checks both those boxes. Dystopian, I'm going to go with Tengen, Toppa, Gurren, Lagann. Most dystopian movies showcase how humanity themselves has led us to this dystopic future. What's cool about Gurren Lagann is that humanity has led us there, but at the same time, humanity is also the solution to get us out. So it's a little bit more hopeful than most dystopian futures, but it's also great animation, great characters, great story. Check it out. Western, a lot of people would say Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop is about space bounty hunters, basically. So check that out if you like that. But I personally prefer Trigun. I think it's got a much cooler aesthetic, much cooler characters. Vash is one of my favorite characters of all time. Check out Trigun if you like Westerns. Crime, I'm gonna go with Psychopaths for crime, just because Psychopaths really dismantles the very concept of crime and what we consider right and wrong, and the way they explore it is fascinating, to be honest. But if you want crime from a different perspective, like from the criminal perspective, I would go Great Pretender. Great Pretender is a really enjoyable anime about con artists and some of the extravagant schemes that they get up to, which is very entertaining and very clever. Comedy, Hinamatsuri is the funniest anime I've ever seen personally, so I would go with Hinamatsuri. But a lot of people love Nichijou. I haven't seen enough of it to really say whether to recommend it or not, but I know a lot of people like Nichijou, so maybe check that one out too. Historical fiction has to be Vinland Saga. Vinland Saga is about Vikings. It's about Vikings. It's super badass. All the characters are cool. The setting, the aesthetic, the story, it's all dope. But there's a shift that happens from season 1 to 2, which is genuinely one of the greatest sort of direction changes in a story like I've ever seen. It's bound to resonate with you, basically. Mystery, I'm going Attack on Titan again, because Attack on Titan, even though I put it for war earlier, it's also got a lot of mystery. They build up so many questions throughout the seasons, and somehow, even though there was so much hype and so much mystery around it, somehow every time they revealed a secret, it always exceeded my expectations. So I'm saying it's the best mystery anime out there. Musical, I'm going Your Lie in April again. Your Lie in April, in addition to being a romance, is also a musical about someone refinding their love for piano. And yeah, I just think it's a great story, and it's got great music. So if you like musicals, you'll probably like Your Lie in April. Animation, of course, all anime is animated, but if you're just an appreciator of animation in general and just want to see really cool animation, I would just pick anything from Studio Trigger. Literally pick one, because every time they make an anime, they sort of redefine the notion of animation itself. And they're usually all good, but even if you don't like one, you're bound to appreciate how good the animation is. Thanks.